Professor McIntyre.
Yes.
Why is it that everyone keeps talking about these, several of the front runners for the Democratic 2020 nomination as though they're moderates? I mean, no, like Joe Biden's whole shtick is, I'm the normal one. That's his whole thing. Is he's the there's a couple other that echo this call to normalcy. There's obviously people that want to break down the system of oppression because it hates people who are poor and blah 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 blah. There's those people. But the thing that just makes me laugh is these are all nut jobs, far left nut jobs that are way beyond what is moderate. There are no moderate Democrats running, none.
Okay.
I mean, why is that?
Okay, let me break it down for you. First of all, this plea to the moderation is predicated on what the media research, the studies, and the polling seems to indicate. Okay, this is an establishment way of running this primary operation to weed out all of the crazies on the far left and to stick with somebody who's perceived as the middle of the road. The research is now telling the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, that the country wants they want a normal person. They're sick of crazy Trump. He's a nut job. He's a loose cannon. He's rude. He's crude. He's vulgar. And so we want a nice person. And so they want to talk about health care, and they want to talk about a path to legal citizenship and all this kind of stuff. So that's number one. Number two, the second reason that they're trying to appear to be moderates is they're trying to unload the baggage that they have. Each of these people that we're going to talk about, Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Buttcrack, and
Buttigieg, and
Kamala Harris. These four people have tremendous baggage. All right, and we could just go, let's just tick off the major baggage that each has, and we'll go backwards. We'll go Kamala Harris, okay? She's her positions as a prosecutor when she was a prosecutor.
Attorney General. Attorney General. She dared to be moderate. She dared to sometimes enforce the law rather than never enforce the law.
Right. Rather than never enforce.
How dare she?
And now she never wants the law enforced. Now she does not ever want the law enforced.
She's walking it back.
Right. So she's trying to walk that back. Okay. Buttcrack is trying to walk back the fact that he's the gay pinup boy, and that's trying to get the money. The primaries are all about money. All right. The primaries are just when the most money is going to have the most impact. And the homosexual crowd, they have a lot of money. Now, they don't want to give it to a loser, but I would say most of the big heavy hitters in the homosexual political rank, they want to give it, just like blacks wanted to have the first black president and the Hillary people wanted to have the first vagina president. These people want the first homosexual president, and they're going to dump a lot of money into that for that.
How is that? You see, what's interesting about Buttigieg, other than the other people we're talking about, is he has this really... I've seen him in interviews. He's just this nice, classy guy. He speaks like 7 languages. He's a Rhodes Scholar. He went to the military. He's a small town, Midwest town mayor.
Yeah.
And people don't really realize he is radically far left. Just on abortion, he's as left as it goes. He says the birth canal is like this magic humanizer.
Are you blaming him for being a politician and lying about what he really is? Is that your complaint? That he's a politician?
My big complaint is that the media is branding him as this call to normalcy. He's not. His policies aren't normal. They're radical.
It's what William James, the American psychologist, would call the will to believe. People have a will to believe. All right. And so they're going to believe.
Imagine him that he's a moderate, just because they really want him to be moderate. Right. But
and if you keep repeating that he's a moderate, he has friends in the press, homosexual writers and homosexual editors that will crank out, he's a moderate. And the Joseph Goebbels axiom kicks in. You repeat a lie often enough, people start to believe it. All right.
Then there's the crown prince of all fake moderates who are not really moderate, Joe Biden.
My word. poor Joe. I mean, he's so creepy.
Well, no. Policy-wise, the things that he advocates for, and he had, I mean, Obama. This is just a statement of fact. Obama was the most left-wing president we've ever had.
That's true. Yeah.
That's just a fact.
True.
I mean,
it's true. Yeah.
He was competing with FDR or Clinton.
Sean Kennedy.
He went.
Yeah.
No, he is the most left-wing president we've had, and this guy was his he's being forced to adopt even more leftist positions than Obama was able to take when he ran.
No, he's not. No, he's really not. If you listen to the way they're choreographing this guy, their first problem is to clean up the mess on aisle 5 he manages to spill every week. So for the last 4 weeks that he's been a candidate, 3 weeks that he's been a candidate, there's been a major cleanup on aisle 5. So his team is running themselves ragged trying to clean up that mess, okay? So we really don't have, poor Joe doesn't really have time to differentiate himself from the AOCs. Now, the AOCs, they've attacked him. And so has, what's his name, the mayor of New York, de Blasio.
Oh, de Blasio, yeah. The same criticism.
He's too old. He's too old. He still supports the Hyde Amendment, then he doesn't support the Hyde Amendment. He's a flip-flopper. I mean, this guy has more flip-flops.
He's like a mega tourist because he's got a lot of baggage.
He's like a trained seal in the circus. He can flip and flop, with the best of them.
Well,
so he has no credibility except for the people who want to believe he's credible.
So what about Elizabeth Warren? I've actually heard total strangers, like out of the blue, tell me how much they love Elizabeth Warren, how she's so nice. She's also a crazy far leftist. I mean, she wants to.
Yeah, but she has a vagina.
That's true.
She's
like
the understudy. She's the understudy. Her vagina is the understudy for Clinton's vagina, which was a failed vagina. So now they've put the understudy on stage, and
the Native American one. The
Pocahontas, the squaw.
Yeah, right. But the thing about Elizabeth Warren is that she props herself up as this intellectual, like this,
Well, she is an intellectual. She's an academic.
I know. She's an academic. She's trained that way, but all she's really doing.
She doesn't connect with the people who are going to vote for Donald Trump. They just ignore her. She's only going to compete. She's only going to get the people who are in Massachusetts at Harvard and Yale and Stanford University and Princeton University. She'll get a large chunk of the homosexual crowd that's going to make butt crack his butt. The other people in the race are just going to be left in the dust. Joe Biden is going to get the nomination because
you don't believe it.
I said it at the beginning, and there's no amount of cleanups on aisle 5 that he can't wipe up, okay, and get away with it.
Well, we'll end with this interesting thing. There's this New York Times piece where they asked about 20 candidates, 20 questions, and one of the questions they asked was, "Who is your favorite personal hero?" Or political hero. Sorry.
Yeah.
And most of them, I don't think Joe Biden was included in this. Interestingly, he was left off of this. Most of them said Martin Luther King Jr. And I'm sitting here like, okay, so all the white people in this race, basically, literally Bernie Sanders, everyone. It's like such a cop-out. But Buttigieg, interestingly, he said his personal hero was Ted Kennedy.
Oh, really? I think he had a crush on Ted.
Yeah, well,
I'm kind of he probably spent a lot of time looking at Ted Kennedy when he was a little boy.
Well, yeah, Ted Kennedy also didn't like women.
Huh?
Ted Kennedy also didn't like women.
Did not like women? Oh, you mean he drowned them all the time? Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You had to explain it to yourself, but yeah.
He was an absolute misogynist. I mean, he drowned them before they could talk, right? He probably couldn't get it up, and so he, crashed over the bridge.
So, in any event, folks, thank you so much for listening to our podcast on fake moderates.
So let's see how we work out on this thing. Thanks for your sending us money now. You're sharing, you're liking. Thanks very much.
Do so.
What? Yeah, continue to do so, and send us some email and tell us what you want us to talk about, as though we don't know. Right.
So yeah. So cheers.
Cheers, Alex. Bye.